want to talk to you, this is where I'm going to spend a lot of time. I want you to understand how it works so you can make informed decisions about your business. All right, so remember I asked you at the beginning, how many of you have on a website? Can I see the hands again? How many on a website? Awesome. This is your hub. This is where everything is. This is where you want to draw people back to. This is where, and we'll get, we'll go as technical as you want to go, but I want to just, again, give you that 60,000 overview first. So if you don't have a website, do you see how it might be a little bit more difficult to connect to these other things? Right? If you have a central hub that everything is going into and out of, would that make more sense for you? Right? Okay, so having a blog type website is the optimum. Now, I always recommend WordPress, but that doesn't necessarily mean that your business structure is great for a WordPress layout. You know, that's when you talk to people like, you know, Jennifer Bagley and those people to see what type of site is best for you. But I'm going to, for all intents and purposes, for this presentation, I'm going to talk about WordPress sites. Reason WordPress sites are so important, it has your blog in it. And when you're blogging, who do we need to make happy online? Hi, sorry. Welcome. Oh, no, you're fine. Come on in. Who do you need to make happy online?
Robots and people.
Robots and people. Google, right? Google, yeah, robots, but you know, well, yeah, the Google has a little bots, you know, but we gotta make Google happy. So if you're not playing the Google game, you're probably not gonna get the traffic you want to play, or traffic you're gonna get. So this is why that blog is so important. It's got what we call an active website. So in other words, that's what that blogging does. It helps it stay active, changing, and it keeps the robots, as Jen says, and Google, which is all robots, it keeps all the search engines coming back and looking to find out where the new content is. Okay? If you have a static site, okay, this is my website. I'm going to go hang it out here on the wall. And I'm going to ask you, now, can you tell me what it says in what's in my website? You can't find it. Because it's static. It's like a painting on the wall. It's not going anywhere. I'm going to hang it in my house. I'm going to hang it where nobody can see it because I have to go, you know what, come on over. Come on over. I got a great website. So the only way they're going to get there is for you to hand them a card that has your website. Go to my website. But do you want to do that? Or would it be easier to just article? You guys in your industry are so, when you're talking to lay people like me, I'm clueless. Well, seriously, if I'm designing a building or if I need an architect or doing remodeling or whatever, who am I going to go talk to? Who's going to educate me? And what am I going to do? What do people do? What do you do when you go to find something? Do you Google it? Or do you go to the phone book? That your grandkids sit on because that's the new booster stool, right? Or it's a doorstop. You know, I got one on my front porch last week and went, I don't know what to do with it. You know, they spent a lot of money making it. Do I trash it? That seems awful. I have a door that closes automatically. I'll just stick it in front of the door. So does that make sense? Active versus a static website. If nothing's changing on it, nobody's visiting. So that's why that blog type site is more important. So now that you've got your WordPress type blog site and you're blogging and you're talking and you're getting people engaged, where does it need to go to? Facebook. that's going to be probably, for you guys, Facebook is a big thing because it's visual. But I've also got up here, I've got the other two things at the top. Does anybody know what that P is? Pinterest. How many of you are on Pinterest? Yes, we got a few of you. All right, for architects, if you're not doing YouTube, Pinterest, putting photos on Facebook, you're losing money. You're losing clients because you're not showing them your work. How many of you in here are proud of what you do? You are. You work hard, right? I mean, it's like having grandkids. You know, it's like, oh my God, look! It's her first bite, right? These are your babies. Your designs are you coddle them. They're your intellectual property. They're your creativity, correct? Don't you want to show them to the world? How many of you have them in a file somewhere? Or just sitting on your computer in case somebody asks, I'll send them a file. How many of you do that? Okay, now I'm getting crickets. I'm like, now people are going, crap, I don't want to answer that. She's right. It's okay, I know the answer. It's a rhetorical question. This is what I want you to do. Everybody needs to be seeing what you're doing because you may be doing exactly what they need. How many in here have a specialty? Tell me what that is.
High security architecture.
High security architecture. Ooh, there's you a niche market. Somebody else.
Waterproofing systems.
Waterproofing systems. Oh, that's interesting. Who else? Anybody?
Energy efficiency.
Energy efficiency. Okay. So your target market may be different than the general architect. I mean, is there somebody in here that designs high-end apartment buildings? No? Because that would be, well, yeah, not in LA and Southern California at this time, okay. So a few years ago, did you design an apartment building? Gee, I forgot what year we were in. Okay, but do you understand what I'm trying to point out here? If you're not getting to your target market, you've got to be talking to them, and you have to be where they are. All right? So that's why Pinterest is so important. That's why YouTube, it's a visual. Your industry is a visual industry. How many of you have videos online? Excuse me, what? Can you raise those hands a little higher? How many have videos online? Woo! 2 of you. How many of you wished you had videos online? There you go. That's what I want to see. All right, it doesn't have to be, how many of you think it's like, oh my God, it's going to cost me $25,000 to get a video series done? How many think that? You're not doing a commercial. You're walking through your space, your design process, you're explaining. I mean, I tell this to manufacturing. The biggest mistake manufacturing facilities make, and I do this a lot in Ventura County, is, because, Ventura County is a huge manufacturing industry, right? Are you not curious how things are made? By the way, there is a show out there called How It's Made. And we've probably all either seen it or heard about it at some point because they walk you through the process of how candy's made and how this is made. And you just go, that's really cool. So always tell manufacturing, people are curious. But you get in your own head and you get in your own business and you put those blinders on, like the little Clydesdales, and you're just like, just got to move forward. That's all I'm doing, just moving forward. You got to take the blinders off and you got to look at what does my audience want to see. And by the way, how old is your audience and not just yours? Any industry, how old's your audience? Not literally.
Mature.
5. They're 5. My audience is 5. Your audience is 5. We're all 5. Do you have jargon and language that you use in your industry?
Yes.
That if I sit down and go, great, I want to hire you to do this, so, okay, tell me, and you're gonna do a presentation, am I gonna understand it? My point exactly. You see? So you have to break it down into simple terms. Talk to your audience like they're 5. They're not idiots. They're just not educated in your industry. They're very smart people. You just need to educate them in the simplest terms. I run into it every day, which is why when I started, I said, I will use acronyms that you'll go, what is she talking about? Just like he said, I won't understand his presentation. I won't understand any of the jargon of the language. Because it's different. I mean, how many of you go to you've been to an attorney, you read a document, 2-4 art thou, whichever, what, and we're going, huh? Don't you wish an attorney would go, all right, here's the deal. If you do this, they get to do this. And if they do this, you get to do this. Are you good with that? And you go, yes or no? Wouldn't that make more sense? Would that be an attorney? I go, oh, thank God they get me. Okay, that's why I say your audience is 5. So when you're marketing to them, think about that. Think about those simple terms that you've forgotten. You know so much about your industry, you've forgotten those basics. Go back to the basics. And that's what a lot of this will allow you to do.